Hey everybody. Okay, so we are pretty much on our last week, I think, of our group, and I know that I struggle with consistency probably as much as the next person struggles with consistency. I try not to have a formal plan going into these groups because I like to talk from my heart and I like to make sure that I'm really reaching out and seeing what it is that you guys need. So, not everybody's posting right now, although I do see you guys logging in workouts in the background. So, like if you forget to post it that day, I can still see it in the background if you log the workout. So, I wanted to talk about this. This is nutrition right here. Okay. So, I was going to talk a little bit about it because this is one question that I get a lot. And if you're doing any program where you have these containers, where's the little ledge that opens them? I grabbed the brand new ones that came, so maybe they just don't have them. With one of the, I don't know, 22-minute hardcore, I can't remember which one it came with. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about these containers and what they're all important, why they're important, a little bit about, I'm not going to get really into it because I don't want to get too complicated. I should have opened these before. Okay, so the reason that these are important are because they give you that visual aspect that you need to just make sure you're making the right food choices. Because seriously, like the comment I get all the time when I'm giving people advice on nutrition is, well, actually, before I even give them the advice and I ask them about their nutrition, the comment I get all the time is, "Oh yeah, I eat pretty well. I'm doing okay. Like I think I eat pretty well." Well, until I actually took a few days to learn this system, I realized I was not eating pretty well. I was eating a lot of these containers and a lot of the different aspects of these containers: sweet potatoes, rice, brown rice at least, grains, legumes. If you're on the vegan or vegetarian plan, grains and legumes like quinoa, and all your beans are red also, so you can get yourself a little bit more if you're on that plan. But where I was seriously lacking were seeds and dressings because I avoided them because it's like, oh, dressings, I can't have dressings. Da, 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 da. I was eating too much fruit, not enough vegetables on a daily basis. Some days I'd have like tons and tons of vegetables, hardly any fruit. Some days I'd have tons and tons of fruit, hardly any vegetables. Overall, I was eating pretty healthy if you looked at my week, but on a daily basis, I was not. Okay, so you look at this container right here. This is about 1 cup. If you don't have these containers, this is your vegetables, right? This is about 1 cup of vegetables. It might be a little bit more, depends. And when I am cooking at home with the vegetables and the fruit, I don't necessarily make sure that the top can go on, especially with like carrots and celery. Like you don't know how to cut it just right so that the top can go on, da 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 da, whatever. With these, if it's blueberries, I make sure the top can go on. If it's grapes, or strawberries even, unless I'm cutting the strawberries up. And one thing I have done is I've measured if I dice the fruit, as long as it's like a reasonable sized fruit, if I dice it and put it in here versus if I just put it in here, it's virtually the same amount. Virtually, unless it's like an awkwardly shaped fruit where there's just a lot of gaps in there. A lot. You'd have to have a lot. Like grapes, you don't have to chop them up at all. Strawberries, hardly ever. Okay, seeds and dressings. This is going to be what helps your body, like the seeds and your nuts. And I think you can have nuts with blues also, raw nuts. I can't remember. I have to go look. So that's just what helps your digestion. That's what helps your body. Your body needs fat. It needs it. Your cells, your organs, they need fat to help them function. They don't need butter and grease, but they need healthy fats to help everything function. Okay, so we've got vegetables. These are your minerals. This is your minerals. This is going to be what replenishes you and helps you feel not so sore. So help your body repair. These are your trace minerals. These are a lot of your vitamins, like vitamin C, and then again, carrots are going to have vitamins as well. So you're going to have a lot of vitamins in here. Minerals. You're going to have all the sugar that you need. Your body needs sugar, and fruit sugar from a whole fruit, not fruit sugar that's taken out of a fruit. Fruit sugar is one of the best sugars for your body because you actually need sugar, glucose, fructose, whatever. Okay, and then you have your carbohydrates. This is your energy right here. So these are carbohydrates as well. They're different carbohydrates. This is your energy. You're low on energy, this is what you need if it's before 6 p.m. If it's after 6 p.m., you really just need to chill and if you do need to have one of these because you need energy after 6 p.m., pick a fruit over this. If it's after 6 p.m., these also contain carbohydrates. Try to go with this first. If you're you're struggling with hunger, this is where you go. This is protein. These are your beans, your lean meats, your yogurt, Greek yogurt, your I have to look at the list. But that's what this is. And this right here is important for cell repair, growth, duplication, etc. This is your hunger fighters right here. If you're following this system and you're still feeling hungry, this and then this, depending on what time of day it is, depending on how hungry you are. If you're like hungry enough to eat a horse, just stick with this and then see how you feel. Seriously, if you dice up enough chicken or whatever it is that you put in here, beans, if you're vegetarian or vegan, seriously, eating this much, you'd be surprised. And then a giant thing of water, you'd be surprised. The thing I was going to talk about with water, this is the next tip, but hold on a second. Okay, so right here, this is good for your heart, your organs, everything, and it's really important. It's really important. Your teaspoon of oils and nut butters is equally important. Really important to get everything you need in one day. And the reason, I'm really bad at it still. It's just something I'm seriously still working on. I have 5 kids and a life, and it's really hard to figure it out. However, one thing I have noticed is that if I keep the checklist by the fridge or on the fridge, I like them on point all day. And I'll go through a whole day and I'm like, wow, I really did it. I might have to have some random container of sunflower seeds at the end of the day. But I mean, like, it's so much easier to do. And you'd be surprised, that is actually a good amount of avocado. It looks like it's really small, and sometimes I do take a couple extra bites, and I think that's okay. But yeah, so there we go. That's just between you and me. Okay, so water. Really, really important. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give you about water. If you don't like it, it sucks for you. I'm just kidding. That's not terrible advice. Okay, if you don't like it, try those little fruit infused inserts, or you can just stick fruit straight into your you can get like a pitcher of water and stick fruit straight into it, and then just pour it out through that strainer section. Or you can go get an insert, whatever suits your fancy. They make water bottles for it, but then you can only like stick a tiny little bit of fruit in those little fruit inserts. And I'm like, what? It's like hardly anything. Can't stand that. Anyways, so I go and I take a mason jar, and I stick those big ones, those like 64-ounce mason jars, and I'll stick my fruit. If it's blueberries, I smush them just a little bit. If it's strawberries, I cut them. Raspberries and blackberries, you can just put in there. Mint, things like that, you can just put in there. I squeeze my lemons or I slice them. Oranges, whatever. You can put anything just about. Anyways, okay. So drink 16 ounces of water when you wake up. Have a cup by your bed of water that you poured the night before. Cover it though. Make sure it's covered. So like this is fine. And drink it when you wake up. Before you even get up to go to the bathroom, unless you're pregnant and you like have to be and you can't like function. But seriously, drink it before you even get out of bed and before you get ready. And then you're gonna get ready, and then you're gonna have your breakfast if you have to have breakfast at that point in the day. I recommend waiting a little bit longer and trying to get your workout in before breakfast, because then you're gonna burn calories that are stored from the day before. Anyways, whatever, long story. So drink water, and then you eat your breakfast, and then 30 minutes, so you're gonna get ready after you drink your water, then you're gonna eat your breakfast, and then 30 minutes after you're done eating, you're gonna drink more water, and you're gonna drink like a good amount of water. You're gonna feel like the first few days of this, you're gonna have to pee a lot. Then your next meal comes, or snack, or whatever it is, you eat, and then you drink another giant thing of water. Not too much, but you drink another thing of water at 30 minutes after you eat. And if you try that for a few days and you feel like all of a sudden that will help you regulate your hunger. It'll really help you regulate. The first few days whenever you start something new, you're going to feel like, okay, this is too much. Like, I can't handle this. I have to go to the bathroom all the time. It's going to taper off. So start this on a weekend if you have to. But these are really important, really, really important. And the way that I structure my day is I have these earlier in my day. Sometimes I'll stick one of those into my Shakeology. And then I have these later in my day. And these I usually have around my snack times or with dinner. So that's kind of how I structure it. So I just try to get all my yellows and purples done kind of earlier in the day. for breakfast and lunch because that's when I need my most energy. Breakfast, snack, and lunch even. Sometimes I'll have a fruit for breakfast, a fruit for my snack, and a fruit with lunch. And that's my fruit for the day. And sometimes I do have my fruit with dinner instead of lunch. So that's my tips for you. I know this has been 10 minutes and you could have probably been working out or something. So, but thanks for watching. And hopefully that gives you some good suggestions. Oh, and another question I get, where does Shakeology fall on the list and why does it fall so low on a red? Because the protein content isn't as high as the things above it. Plus, it has so many other ingredients in it. They put things on the list in order of the list. So the most nutritious veggies, the most nutritious fruits for that thing, the ones that are more dense in that category. So protein, it's not as dense in the protein category, which is why it's lower on the list. That doesn't mean it's not a very good nutritious source, protein source, but it's not going to keep you full for as long as, say, a container of chicken. It's just not. It's that simple. That's because it has so many other things in it, and that's okay. I will see you guys later. Happy Monday. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for participating in this group, and thanks for logging your workouts. I really appreciate your participation. It helps me stay motivated, and it helps the others stay motivated as well. Let's finish this week strong.